before we begin, what do you think is the purpose of business? Why do you think people engage and start a business? Why do companies exist? So what values? Adding values. What kind of values? Money. Okay, so business selling oil and okay, quality of oil. Long term, okay. So what most people think is echoed by Milton Friedman, the Nobel Prize winner in economics. There is one and only one responsibility of business: to use its resources and engage in activities designed to increase profit. So most people think it is profit that is the goal of companies. And he said the only corporate responsibility a company has is to maximize its profit. So this is the basis of traditional businesses and the basis of what we call the first, second, third industrial revolution. And the question is this the right model? It is the right person. And what is the basis of profit? Well, profit is based on the revenue, the income you generate, minus the cost. So how do you increase profit? Simple. Increase sale, reduce cost. And how do you increase sale? Retain customer. Increase volume, like Walmart, like Apple, like make everything bigger. Create customer, find new markets, like Indonesia, different parts of the world. Introduce new products, service, and innovation. Make it more convenient. For example, Grab, GoTo, and online sale. Increase price, like Louis Vuitton. Value chain management, manage the logistics. Vertical integration, so you buy the raw material directly to make the steel, to make the phone. Mergers and acquisition, buy small companies and grow. Destroy competition, price destruction, Amazon, lobbying, or controlling companies such as TikTok, or advertising, marketing, and branding. Increase entry barrier, patent, platform, exclusive contract. So is it easy to make money? Okay. How do you decrease cost? Well, mass production, automation, economies of scale, increase efficiency, eliminate inefficient tasks and activities, increase productivity, digital technology, artificial intelligence, increase efficiency in supply chain management, reduce procurement, the price you pay to buy products, reduce overhead cost, reduce inventory just in time. Instead of 1 year, you hold inventory for 1 year, 15 days. Retain and promote best employees. This is known as rank and yank. Reduce unproductive employees, downsizing. And so, in order to be efficient, they have created different departments. Scientists hired to develop R&D. Economists are hired to handle finance. Designers are hired to develop design. Engineers are hired to produce. Marketing is done by psychologists, and salespeople can be diverse. And these are different departments, and it is the role of the executive to coordinate these departments to sell. And so traditionally it's called top-down or command and control based on the army. Executives are responsible for planning, decision-making, managers organizing, supervising, and employees actually produce and execute. So with this department, you have what we call silo effect. People have different skills, different communication, and they cannot communicate with other departments. Marketing people cannot talk to R&D who are engineers. They cannot talk to designers who are artists. And the finance people claim that they spend too much money. And so, because of the silo, you live in different realities. And this is the same company. And then you create hierarchies in terms of employees, managers, directors, and the executives. And what you do, you create functional barriers, R&D, marketing, and HR. Then you have hierarchical barrier, and you have what we call operative islands. And we live in cubicles. So is this a good environment to work, to be creative, to engage, and develop relationship? And Jack Welch from General Electric, he developed a leadership program that is famous. And so he developed what we call relative ranking using the bell curve, distinguishing top performers from average to low performers. And what he would do, he would promote the top performers and fire the non-performers. And if you do this every year, the quality of employees will improve. Okay? It's just a good idea. And so this is a very competitive model. There's a problem. Okay? So the evaluation is based on last year's performance. But if the business environment changes, will that last year performance be the best performer? Such as in Corona pandemic, or now we have the reopening. Secondly, evaluation system is problematic. There is no objective way to evaluate our contribution. How do you evaluate HR? How do you evaluate the logistics? What is your contribution? Of course, salespeople you can evaluate. How do you evaluate R&D who are still developing products and they don't have a product until 5 years later? And who evaluates? Your boss? Does he know what he does? A lot of times, executives, they do not know what the engineer is doing because they don't know engineering. They don't know finance because they don't know mathematics. So the biggest problem in management is performance evaluation. And if you don't know performance evaluation, what are the skills that are necessary? And this is called competency. And so these are the problems with this model. And as a result, Peter Drucker, father of modern management, said, it's the wrong assumption. Profit is not a cause, but a result. Can you have profit as a goal, which makes you greedy, competitive, and destructive? So what is the goal of management? And he said, the purpose of business is to create and keep a customer. If you have customer, then you have profit. If you satisfy the customer, they'll come back. So doesn't it make more sense? But there's a fundamental difference between profit, money, that is greed, versus customer. They're people. So you have to understand people. And it's related to, in terms of value, providing quality of life. If you provide products that customers want, then you have profit. Of course, you can create addiction, like tobacco, alcohol, and games are unhealthy. So it's not supporting quality of life in that sense. But they make a lot of money. The Jarum in Indonesia is one of the top companies in Indonesia. Okay? And so is it good? And so the goal is to keep a customer. So Elon Musk said, people work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work every morning and enjoy working. The question is, do you look forward to coming to work? Do you look forward to lecturing? Do you look forward to research? If you don't enjoy research, leading students, and teaching, you have a wrong job. It'll make you miserable. Okay? And it creates a lot of stress. Okay. Do you enjoy doing research? Do you enjoy teaching? Do you enjoy meeting students? Okay, then you have the right job. The problem is the pay is not good. I noticed. And so you have to have a vision. The ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. If you believe you cannot change the world, you're right. If you believe you can change the world, well, perhaps. Okay? Not everyone can do it. It's like buying a lottery ticket, okay? You want to win 1 billion rupiah. And if you buy a lottery ticket, the chances of winning is small, but you have a chance. But if you don't buy it, you'll never win. Okay? So if you can believe you can change the world, and people say you're crazy, but he did, because that's why we carry this with us. Right? So that's his purpose in business. Do you want to spend the rest of your life selling sugar water, or do you want to change the world? This is what he said to John Scully, president of Pepsi, to join Apple. And why are you selling cola? You make money, but you want. And so John Scully joined. And so once you know the purpose, because his purpose is to create a customer, your business has two purposes and two purposes only: marketing and innovation. Marketing and innovation makes you money, generate sales, produce profit. Everything else is expense. So now, business model is very simple. Create a customer. How do you do it? You make things that customers want. So these are two functions, marketing and innovation. But what is marketing? The aim of marketing is to know and understand the customer so well the products or service fits himself or sells itself, like the smartphone or things that you need. So this is psychology. You need to understand people. You need to understand customer better than they know themselves. And you need to understand customers 3 years from now, what they will need, because it takes 3 years to make a product. Okay? If you make a mistake, then you lose a lot of money. So you have to understand your customer. And Steve Jobs, get closer than ever to your customer, so close that you tell them what they need well before they realize it themselves. Did you need a smartphone 20 years ago? There wasn't any. Now you need it. So he anticipated. And Steve Jobs created the smartphone as a final user. He's a customer. And he's very picky. And as a result, if he likes it, then of course, everyone else would end up liking it. So what did they do? Did they advertise? They lined up 3 days to buy it. That's marketing. That's not advertising. They don't tell, this is the best, this is who we are. No, people want it, and they lined up. So marketing is not a function. It's the whole business seen from the customer point of view. From a customer, I need it, I want it. They don't have to advertise. You don't have to advertise, buy rice. You need to buy rice. Something that is basic. And so Philip Kotler, who is the father of modern marketing, was influenced by Peter Drucker. Marketing is the science and art of exploring, creating, delivering value to satisfy the needs of the target for a profit. Okay, so and you need profit to invest. The best advertising is satisfied customers. People leave review. Marketing is not the art of finding clever ways of disposing what you make. I make it, please buy. No, it's the art of creating genuine customer value. Every company should work hard to make their own line of product obsolete before their competition does. Okay? So now, does anyone have an iPod? Okay. Okay. You know they don't sell it anymore. They don't sell iPod anymore. Why? Because it's here. Now iPod is included in the so they got rid of it. Okay? So this is, rather than your competition destroying your products, you get rid of obsolete products and integrate it to a better product. So marketing takes a day to learn. Unfortunately, it takes a lifetime to master. You know why? Customers change. Look at your children. And customers in Indonesia are not customers in Korea, China, Saudi Arabia. So customer sounds nice, but they represent different cultures and different markets. And the most powerful, enduring brands are built from the heart. You need to develop a brand. And products are made in factory, but brands are created in the mind, like Apple. And it's no longer enough to satisfy your customer. You must delight them. A brand for a company is like a reputation for a person. You earn reputation trying to do hard things well. He developed the first e-commerce company. Second is innovation, but there are two types of innovation. It's called linear innovation, like Kaizen, continuous improvement. Then Sony is very good. They developed the first Walkman. Then they developed the CD because the tapes would break. But the problem is it can only load 10 songs. Okay? So now you have DVD. And the last is Blu-ray disc. Does anyone own a Blu-ray disc? Oh, you own it? Okay. And they lost, Sony and Toshiba, $20 billion developing a wonderful work of art, Blu-ray disc. But why do you need a Blu-ray disc when you downstream? Yes, so you don't need a disc player because of cloud computing, and you can download directly. So this is an example of improvements, but at a certain point, people don't want it. So digital revolution is taking analog into digital. And disruptive innovation is doing something that no one else is doing. And so early phones with a handle and mouthpiece, but you cannot write. So you attach the phone. But if you dial 90, it takes forever. So what they do, they develop a touch tone. And Panasonic developed wireless within the house. So you can go cooking and talk to your children. And Motorola developed the first cell phone, but the phone is 7 kilograms and the pack is 15 kilograms. And you can only use it in New York. And so what they did is made it smaller, lighter, and more efficient. And Nokia became number one. Some of you may remember, because you can send SMS text. So when we talk, there are a lot of empty space that is not used. So you use SMS text between. And you can send text messages very cheaply. So you can find out what your children are doing. And children did not have much money, so Nokia became very famous. Samsung became famous because they added a camera in all the phones. Because they had the idea of digital convergence. And disruptive innovation is to think differently and put everything into a product. So iPod, he did not invent the MP3. Chehan Media, Samsung invented it, but he made it user-friendly. And he did it by driving the wheel. You can drive, and using jelly bellies to add color. And so software is the experience of the user. Apple is not a hardware company, not competing with Samsung. Why? Because Apple doesn't make it. Foxconn makes it. It develops software called iOS. And it's a design and software company. Samsung is a hardware company. Software is made by Google. So it's Google competing with Apple. And Samsung is competing with Foxconn. So he created software so that it's easy to use. Okay? And that's why it's very popular. And rather than developing software like Microsoft and IBM, which takes millions of dollars, he allowed graduate students to develop an app. And if you sell 1 million apps for $1, you become a millionaire. So they have 600,000 apps developed by outsiders. And do you know how much they make when people use an app? 30% of the profit. Okay? And so Apple now makes billions of dollars, 1/4 of its profit from the service. Okay? And then he introduced iPad. And he included Apple Store. That's a social space. So it doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do. Okay? So great things in business are never done by a person. They're done by a team. And these are its innovation secrets. Many people contribute. So now Apple is the biggest company in the world. $3 trillion. If you put together all the automotive companies, Apple's bigger. It's bigger than the country of Austria. Okay? And why? Is it a phone? I don't use it to call people. It's my second brain. I need my second brain to communicate and store information. For a phone, why should I pay $2,000? For a brain, maybe $5,000 or even $10,000. How much is your brain worth? Okay. So it became the biggest company in the world. And innovation is not something you do when you have money and time. So when you start a company, it grows, then it peaks because there are competitors entering. Then the profit margin declines. So when you innovate is when you're growing. And you're now complaining, oh, I'm busy. I have to do accreditation. I don't have time to do research. So if you don't do research now, then you don't publish. Then you don't get promoted. Then you have to do more paperwork. So when should you publish? When you're most busy. So when you publish, that means you don't have to do the paperwork. So do you want to do the paperwork for the rest of your life? Or do you want to publish and become a professor and assign it to the lecturers? I assign it to the lecturers. Okay? So this is optionality. People complain in Indonesia, I'm busy, I don't have time. And that means I have time? So this is something you need to choose to do. Are you going to suffer later or do you want to suffer now? Suffer now a little bit so you have more time later. And this is what you have to do. And this is a dilemma zone in terms of the growth. So you need to create innovation and create new products when your company is growing and making money. And you have to do this disruption continuously. So Apple did it iPod, iPhone, and iPod. And do they have an iCar? No. So this is a problem with Apple. It's no longer an innovative company. It's becoming a service company. Okay? And so why? Because Steve Jobs is no longer with us. Tim Cook is a supply chain manager. And so he's not a creative person. He can help you to make money, but not interesting product. So what is leadership? People think of leaders like Joko Widodo or, I don't know, Obama, or you think of Elon Musk. But everyone is a leader in their own life. Are you a leader in your own life? I'm glad to hear it. Okay. So, self-assessment is the first step. Do you know and understand yourself? And what are the questions that you have to ask? To become a leader, each person has to do something totally new and totally different. You cannot continue to teach and do research and hope to be successful. You have to do something different. And that is why I'm here, okay? So that you can do something different. And they have to manage themselves, and this creates new demand. You have to take on new tasks. You only have 24 hours. So what do you have to do? You have to prioritize and become efficient. Leadership qualities cannot obtain by taking courses, by watching other people, but through personal experience, practice, and developing your capabilities. In order to manage oneself, to become a leader, you need to think about the following question. What is the goal and objective that you want to achieve? Okay. What do you want to achieve within 3 to 5 years? If you don't have a goal, then you will not achieve it, right? It's like not having a lottery ticket. You have to have a goal. And that is the most important thing that you can find out about a person. What do you want to achieve? So Peter Drucker gave an example of purpose of work. So there are 3 stone cutters, and they were asked what they were doing. The first answer, I'm earning a living by cutting a stone. It's my job. I just cut it. And I get paid and I go home. Okay? So when I see people in construction, in Jakarta, that's what they do. I put in 10 hours, get my pay, and feed my family. Second said, I'm the best in cutting stones compared to anyone in my profession. I'm the best. Sounds typical American. Then the third worker said, he looked to the sky and said, I'm building a cathedral or a mosque. So what is the difference between these three people? I'm just working to get money. I'm the best. I'm building a mosque. So the third person has a vision, a mission. And everything he does is part of this mission. So why are you teaching and why are you a lecturer? Why are you doing research? You have to ask yourself. Because if you don't like it, I'm sorry, the pay is bad and it's not good. Find another job. Right? It's tough. And I will guarantee you will get more and more work, more and more accreditation, more and more paperwork. So if you're miserable now, I will guarantee you'll be much more miserable here from now. Okay? If you don't have a mission about research and teaching. So I'll skip the video. So you need to understand what you do well. Okay? If you have a purpose, but you're terrible at it, for example, I have a nice voice, they tell me, but I'm a terrible singer. So if I want to be a singer, I will fail. Okay? Right? So what do I do well? Research. And if people don't pay me, I still do research because I enjoy it. You have the knowledge, skill, and efficacy. And you must also understand the most effective way you learn and work. What is your learning and working style? Do you like to work by yourself, in a group? Do you like to communicate? You have to figure out what your learning style is. And the third is once you understand your strength, then you need to understand your value. What is important to you? Income, challenging work, job security, good relationship, work-life balance. So these are the questions that we ask. Your strength is measured through leadership efficacy. Values in terms of work values. And the question is, where do you belong? What kind of organization do you want to be in? Okay? Academic, business, government. So where do you feel comfortable? And given your strength, what contribution can you make? You have to create a product and impact, and you feel good when you create a contribution. And also, you have to take care of the relationship. If I have strength, and if I have a colleague, what is his strength, Agung? His strength is he replies very quickly. Okay. And I get responses very quickly. And how do I help him develop his strength? So if we work together and he becomes more capable, it'll make it a lot easier on me, right? Okay. So everyone in this room, how can I make you more confident, more effective? Then when we work together as a team, we are more effective. And this is called relationship responsibility. And this is a problem that I see in Indonesia. Indonesians are very smart, but they're not good at working together. They eat together, but they don't work together. My colleague at Gajah Mada said, we sweat when we eat, but not when we work. Is this true? It depends, yes. So it tells you, you enjoy eating and talking to one another, but working is not something you choose to do. Then it doesn't work. Then you cannot be successful. Organizations are not built on force. It's built on trust. Do you trust your colleagues? And in Indonesia, colleagues' trust is low compared to families. Okay? Indonesians trust their family, but not their colleagues. Then it's a problem. Then you have to build trust. Okay? Trust means it doesn't mean you like the other person. I may not like Agung, but I trust he will reply quickly and make all the arrangements. So terrorists. Rivalry. Why? But in siblings, you end up eating together, you end up helping one another, right? Then you have a problem. Why? Because it's not an organization. And you cannot be productive because you're using all the resources and strength. You're sapping the strength with one another. So, hearing rivalry is creating stress. So you have to develop trust. Okay? Not trust. I may or may not like Agung, but I trust that he will act responsibly. I know his strength. When I send him a message, he will reply. That's called professionalism. And that's something you need to develop. So you can trust and you can work with one another. And you understand one another. So I know what he's good at and what he's not. Okay? And I need to accept that to be the case. And there are different types of leadership style. This is command and control, autocratic, typical of the army. And so he controls the necessary resources and provides direction, like the person who cuts stones and makes a living. This is Korea, if you want to understand chaebol in Korea. Yes, this is Korea. Yeah. We are very efficient. We have a very good army, and we're very efficient. So when the employees are uneducated, inexperienced, and when there is corruption, you need strong command and control. And it's widely used in military, police, in construction and manufacturing, in dangerous jobs. And so, discipline, preparation, victory. This is like going to war. So John D. Rockefeller said, good leadership consists of showing average people how to do a work of superior people. So if you want to succeed, you should strike out a new path rather than travel the old accepted. So if you want to be a farmer for the rest of your life, you'll be poor. So you have to do something different. Andrew Carnegie of Carnegie Steel, biggest steel company, the man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his mind may take possession of anything else to which he's justly entitled to. Henry Ford, if I asked people what they wanted, they would say faster horses. And he said, people can have the Model T in any color so long as it's black. They only include black. And that's why Ford decreased profit. Because he said, I make the best, this is a color, and when General Motors introduced different color and different design, they begin to lose the market share. So sometimes innovative leaders can be arrogant, like Fox News. So the truth is whatever people will believe. And bureaucratic leadership focus on rules, regulations like the government. And McDonald's is an example of bureaucratic in terms of how to make a big patty, how to service, and in efficiency, calculability, predictability, and control. So every McDonald's around the world is the same. Democratic leadership, you discuss, and you're flexible, and you're creative. And it's good for creative group, consulting group, service industry, education, but the problem is it takes a lot of time. And so Richard Branson, customers do not come first. Employees come first. If you take care of your employees, they'll take care of the clients. Train people well so they can leave. Treat them well so that they don't want to leave. And if you want to grow as an entrepreneur, you got to learn to delegate. You have to give assignments to other people. There's no magic formula for great company. The key is treat your staff how you would like to be treated. A company is people. Employees want to know, am I being listened to or am I cogging the wheel? People really want to feel wanted. And complexity is your enemy. Any fool can make something complicated. You're talking about government bureaucrats with this accreditation that you have to fill out. I guarantee no one will ever read it. But you have to fill it out. It's hard to make something simple, like Apple, smartphone. If someone offers an amazing opportunity, but you're not sure you can do it, say yes. Then learn how to do it later, okay? And so these are some of the things. Do it, have fun, be bold, challenge yourself, stand on your own feet, live for the moment, value family, and have respect. But there's a problem with democracy. Which direction? So you can talk a lot, not accomplish anything. Laissez-faire relationship, you leave it to the employees. I try to behave with our managers just as we attempt to behave. It's the largest investment company in the world. And this is a picture 30 years ago. And this is a Christmas picture now, same people. Because people are allowed to do whatever they want. So laissez-faire works with highly skilled software companies who take pride, or it could be outside, or it could involve trustworthy. So if it's rivalry, no laissez-faire at university. And so Warren Buffett said, I look for three things in a person: intelligence, energy, and integrity. If they don't have integrity, don't even bother with the first two. Okay? So in a laissez-faire model, you have to have integrity. And so I'll skip very. Transactional leadership is they demand order and structure, but compensate you based on your performance. You have a transaction. So they want self-motivated people, they follow existing structure, and they are responsible for the performance. So transactional leader create desirable work environment, clarify between performance and reward based on your performance, and you respond to the interest of those who meet the standard. So we all need to give people feedback. This is how we improve. The reason why I'm mentioning it is we measure this in our scale: transactional leader, bureaucratic leader, authoritarian leader. And Bill Gates is one of the presidents. And I showed my plans to 1,200 people. 900 said no, 300 people has interest, and 85 did something. And 35 were serious. And the 35 are billionaires, and the other 1,000 are employees. So he said the best way to write a program is to look through the garbage and things that people threw out. So when he was at Harvard, he went through the garbage can and he found great ideas. So he said, I failed in some exam. He was a C student, and he was not an A student. So what did he do? He hired A students as engineers. This is the difference between engineer and leader. He said something very interesting. I choose a lazy person to a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it. This is in terms of software company. Customer focus, Samsung Group. 200 or 300 years ago, 10,000 to 20,000, 200, feed the family. In the 21st century, one person can feed 100,000, 200,000 people. And Samsung future hinges on new business, new product, new technology. We should make our corporate culture more open, flexible, and innovative, which is not. Okay? Which is not. In the end, I'm the one who has to change. You have to change from inside out. Change everything except wife and children. In Korea, you keep your wife and children. And so the most important thing about a company is the design and creativity. Okay. Yes. So don't judge for people taking time off. When you're on vacation, make it worth it. You know what he's saying? Think about the product. Okay? And raising bright mind isn't enough. We need to have people plant trees, actually do the work. And Howard Schultz is an example of customer-focused marketing. I'll skip some of the quotes. Then there are charismatic leaders, and this is what we think works, but actually charismatic leaders end up being unsuccessful because they rely too much on the leader. And this is what they do: envision, energize, and enabling. So they develop a tunnel vision, like Jack Ma and some of the leaders, and they become too focused. Transformation leader, you can think of Elon Musk. They think of the idealized future. Also Google, in terms of what they did in terms of developing the Google map and search. And then we have problematic leaders who are arrogant, compulsive, paranoid, passive aggressive. They blame others, and they have all the right answers. And so these are some of the characteristics of problematic, narcissistic leader and self-interested. And I gave you 2 pictures of Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un as an example from the West and North Korea. And said, Donald Trump said, will someone tell Kim Jong-un that we have nuclear button and it's much bigger and more powerful than yours? Sounds like an elementary school children. But the most important in the future is servant leadership in terms of lectures, in terms of companies. Because a leader has resources, has knowledge. It has to serve the employees so you can help them develop their strength. And so it's developed by Robert Greenleaf. Leader must be foremost, meet the needs of others. Good leader must become good servants. And this is the important aspect is you have to be able to empathize, accept the person, and focus. And sometimes the performance is not good. So this is the difference between a traditional leader, see it as an opportunity, they share power, and they measure success, and they listen. So we have a scale on servant leadership. And these are some of the characteristics: selfless, empathetic, resolute, virtuous, authentic, nonpartisan, thorough. I have never met a person like that before, so these are ideas, okay, not real. And so how do you you have to have active listening. You have to listen, you engage, question, and a person is Mahatma Gandhi. Find yourself in the service of others. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. You don't have to scream. And Albert Schweitzer, who went to Africa to serve others. Mother Teresa, and also Nelson Mandela. For to be free is not merely to cast off a chain, but live in a way that respect enhances the freedoms of others. And so, what he said, I never lose. I either win or learn. So it always seemed impossible until it's done. So let me get you down to the nitty-gritty and show you the result, okay? So my colleague from Italy developed the servant leadership for the future. So in the bottom, these are traditional leadership: authoritarian leader, bureaucratic leader, transactional leader. I developed it because in Korea, these are popular. Okay? And there are servant leadership, mindful leadership, sustainable leadership, and ethical leadership that my colleague developed in terms of what we need in the future. And so these are the items, okay? So she developed 6 items each. The problem in psychology, if you have training in psychometric, you don't have 4 items, because not all the 4 items have high correlation. If you throw out 1 item, then your scale is not reliable. The minimum you have is 6, okay? Because it provides stability. Personality theory, they have 12, but it's too long. So based on my experience, I found 6 to be reasonable to get the what we call Cronbach alpha. Okay. So what I did is I added 2 more items to her ethical, mindful, and servant leadership. And as you notice, it passed the Cronbach alpha of 0.7. Okay. Then sustainable leadership, then transactional leadership had the highest mean in Korea. Then the bureaucratic leadership and directive leadership, Korean students don't like it. And it has relatively lower correlation, okay? So directive leadership is something they don't want. Okay? The other leadership qualities, transactional is preferred, followed by bureaucratic. and transactional, bureaucratic. Efficacies are skills, okay? These are your strengths. To become a leader, you need to be able to analyze, analytical skill. Then you need to communicate. And then you need to have professionalism. And then you need to work as a team. And they have 6 items, and they have higher correlation, Cronbach alpha. Then you need to be creative. Creative means connecting the dots. You need to take initiative, and you need to have ethics, integrity, and you need to empower others. So these are items that I developed working for companies, consulting. It's items that I developed for the companies, but I tested with the students. And then work values. What are the values that are important? In terms of trust, you want to trust the company, your superior, and your colleagues. Apparently you don't have it in Indonesia, so we'll find out about students if they trust, if that's important. Achievement, okay? Do you want to achieve and be successful? And security, do you want financial security? Self-direction is you work so you get paid so you can enjoy life. Travel, buy things, and do whatever you want. And then I measure social support from family in terms of information and emotional support. As you know, you notice these have high correlation. Social support from friends. Then I added online support because a lot of young millennial and Gen Z obtain information from internet, online communities about jobs, study together, and provide feedback. So these are the results. So in the first study, I have 305 students from different age groups. And this is a correlation between leadership style and leadership efficacy. So as you notice, the transactional, bureaucratic, and directive leadership style does not correlate highly. So if you look at the green, the empowerment efficacy, empowering style is highly correlated. And also professionalism in blue, and also in yellow, teamwork. For the positive, in terms of bureaucratic leadership is in green. You have to have initiative and also in directive leadership. This is in terms of work values. So for security, the future-oriented leadership is important. For bureaucratic leadership style, security is important. Whereas self-direction is not relatively unimportant in the future-oriented, but important in the directive and bureaucratic. So you can see the relationship. And in terms of personality, if you look in the blue, that's openness. Bureaucratic and directive, they're low in openness. They just follow orders. And if you look at yellow, neuroticism, they're negative when you compare it to the future-oriented leadership style. And correlation of social support, you can see for students, friends' social support is most important, okay? And then online support and also family social support. So now, for university students, friends are the most important in terms of social support. So this is a conceptual model. So I want to predict whether they're happy in terms of the job prospect. Okay? Then look at the work values if they influence their happiness, and look at the career aspiration, whether they want to be educated, become a leader, or whether they want to achieve. Then we have the leadership efficacy as a mediator, and positivity as a measure, and also social support. So these are the conceptual framework, and this is the result of the result. So in terms of job prospect, positivity, efficacy, and social support has a direct effect. And positivity and social support has a direct effect on efficacy. And integrity influences work value security and career aspiration for education. Okay? And we get a similar pattern for happiness job prospect in relation to online. So online social support has a similar pattern as friend social support, although the correlation quotient is lower. And you can see the model fit is very good. And this is for work value achievement. Then if you want to achieve, you need to have high initiative leadership efficacy. The efficacy is not general, okay? It's specific. And for online social support, we get a similar pattern. For work-life balance, efficacy for integrity is highly predictable. And so you get this result. The reason why path analysis is important, if you saw the correlation, it was very complicated. It's very hard to interpret. Path analysis summarizes everything in terms of the path and the causal linkage and the strength. Okay? So this is a kind of a summary, and that's why it's important to conduct a path analysis, but path analysis are very difficult to get. It's very sensitive, and if you have any missing variable, it doesn't work. Okay? So to get goodness of fit is very difficult. So most people don't have path analysis because they don't get the fit. Okay? And the most important, as you notice, is the efficacy that connects these variables together. And so this is for online support. You get similar result. And study 2, we collected 350 students. Then we included, instead of positivity, big 5, okay? Personality, and see the result. And for Korea, conscientiousness is the most predictive. And so this, for bureaucratic leadership, professionalism is important, okay? For directive leadership, also professionalism and work value achievement. For transactional, similarly, professionalism and work value achievement predicts transactional leadership. For servant leadership, we have integrity rather than professionalism, and work value of trust that predicts servant relationship. And for ethical leadership, integrity and achievement, ethical leadership. For trust, predicts mindful leadership and integrity. And also sustainability. So you get a different pattern. Bureaucratic, transactional, directive is based on professionalism. Okay? For future-oriented, it's about integrity and ethics that is important. And that is the result.
Jadi Bapak Ibu sekalian, kita sudah menyebarkan instrumen yang dibentuk oleh Pak Kim dan kawan-kawan. Kemudian sementara ada berapa total Pak Lubab subjeknya? 174. And then we have cleaned the data. SPSS, yes. SS, coding, PO dan lain-lainnya. Nah, this one. Oke.
Okay. Then you have to do code.
Record.
Okay. Positivity, I think there are items.
Pak Lubab, ya wordnya. Pak Lubab ditentukan wordnya, word recordingnya.
So you have to, I don't know which way.
Kamusnya di file Word Pak Lubab. Enggak, tunjukkan dulu, di teman-teman kan nggak tahu. Nah, top record. Nah, this one.
Just 6.
Ini sudah di-record, Pak? Oh, belum. Oke, di-record dulu. 6 Pak. 6-nya sudah nggak ada? Nah. Ya. Ya, 6.
You have to.
Just PO6 or?
You have to make 5 equal 1. You're creating variable.
Namanya tetap aja, Pak. Namanya tetap PO6, but the value change. Ya, variable.
Five, 1.
Tidak berubah.
2, 4. 1, 5. You're missing. And so do reliability of patient. Reliability. Analyze. 1 to 8. You want to have item. So, all 3.
Skill juga.
Summary, mean.
Nice.
But alpha, I guess those. So what you need to do is someone put that Chromebook Alpha. What you need is go down. Summary statistics. Go down. Go down. Copy item total. A MS Word file. Click the box. New file called reliability.
Itu di online dokumen enak Pak, mau bisa lihat.
You copy and paste the Chromebook Alpha and item total correlation.
Alpha Chromebook-nya di copy di dokumen. Yang hasilnya tadi loh Pak, kan kita terus jalan nanti biar ada yang rekam. Just Alpha Chromebook.
Chromebook Alpha and item total correlation.
And item correlation.
Scale summary. Summary of statistics. Item total.
Summary item statistics ya itu Pak.
No, not that one below.
Oh, yang bawah lagi Pak, bawah lagi.
That one.
Skill static.
No.
Then
Item total.
bawah.
Everything.
Semua itu.
The reason is Chromebook Alpha. Look at item. Has to be higher. So what is suggesting? 6 item total. Item that we.
PO6 not low.
So I'm wondering if coding actually works. So if you look at item total, 4 point, then it doesn't belong in. It's probably because of the code was not done successfully. Can you check the recode?
Di record lagi Pak, kayaknya nggak berhasil record.
Or you can look at the mean.
Yang PO6 tadi.
Mean of the item 6 mean.
Up titik Pak, bukan titik PO6 hop.
Items.
Nah,
That means it's recording.
di record lagi Pak, diulangi ya. Kapan lagi ngerjain Pak Lubab asik.
So make one mistake, you have to do everything over. Moral of the story, don't make mistakes.
Old and new value. Apa Pak Jis? Kira-kira Pak Jis?
So can you sit and run it without the
Di cancel Pak, nggak usah di record.
value?
Move PO6 or remove recordnya saja, jadi tetap di nilai asal. Oke caranya.
You have to go back old and new values.
Old and new values Pak, recordnya tadi di apa di undo. Undo without. Atau kita kembali pakai yang lama aja. Ya, PO6 yang asli. Jangan-jangan udah di-record itu. Ya. Nggak bisa pindah itunya. Di download aja Pak, yang di WA awal. Cleaning lagi ya? Enggak kan? Oh cleaning lagi, tadi ada yang missing kan? Ada yang missing. Oh nggak bisa toh Pak, yang habis di record kemudian recordnya dihilangkan gitu. Ini gorong cleaning nih. Six. Oh begitu. Namanya di yang original dihilangkan. Sama aja, Pak sama.
If it's not
Recorded.
so,
Minus ya.
so that, then the record actually can you X6 up again?
Memang Pak, yang awal tadi. Awal tadi. Ternyata memang datanya seperti itu. Nah itu, that's what. Yep.
We have to rather than item.
7 item. 7 item. Artinya dihilangkan, PO6-nya dihilangkan.
It's a little bit problem comparing the result with other studies, but we cannot include items that. So then we now create with 7 items. Positive 1, 4, 5, 7, 8 divided by
Apa, Pak? Compute
transformation. Two. Divided by
divide
bracket.
dibagi 7 divided by 7
Bracket.
oh, bracket tanda kurung Pak, tanda kurung enggak, tanda kurung dari variabel 1 sampai 8 kemudian dibagi
Variable 1 in front of variable.
nah ya variabel 1 sampai anu kan tadi dikurungi nah
Bracket divided slash
slash 7 7
that we want to know the scale mean. It goes from 1 to 7. We have type in positive
posisi kok nggak melebu
let me just you have to do the same all the other. So
Pak
you
Lupa
have,
dieling-eling langkai kita pasti punya 2 instrumen Pak.
so if you go to the MS Word file,
MS Word nang
can you
Word Pak
click
Pak nang MS Word file Word
file
yang tadi ya no, oh yang satunya yang
the
kamus
Uichol.
kamus
No, no.
Word yang kamus Pak Wordnya kan ada 2
You have a problem.
file Word-nya ada 2 Word nah itu loh Pak oke oh ya Norma oke lah mulai hari ini kita panggil Norma dia
So you see, for leadership style, have items. First, you have to do reliability, and item that is less important. You have to develop a complete statement driven. Pull down, then you have to do reliability. Did it for positive. You have to do value, efficacy, and OB. Once you do that, then you have to create standard deviation. You have mean, standard deviation, and you have Cronbach out. Males and females. You have the total mean of, let's say, 7, and the mean for male, female, and
paham langkahnya saya paham yang diomongkan tapi nggak tahu apa langkah di SPSS-nya ya tuh reliabilitas alpha Cronbach dan positivity labelingnya mensegregasi tuh jenis kelamin 2 itu perempuan 1 laki-laki male and female is seks, jenis kelamin. Kolom F, F. Yes, male and female. Two it means female, one is male.
So you have to do a case test of all the variables.
Uji
To
T.
see if there's sex difference. There's no sex mind. Also, women and men are different. You have to. What needs to be done? I need to receive liability from Buck Alpha and Edinburgh. All. And I need. That's one. Second. So total score, male and female, and p-value. Okay? So that's table two file. The third file, correlation. Correlation. Let's say on the top you have servant leadership, correlation with all the background information and psychological.
That's paper. Read the paper. Psychology distress, creativity, porosis. Pak Ajis, maybe you can.
You can analyze it and do so if you get.
So it
Probably, I think it will work. So once you have reliability and sales, reliability is the most. When you have reliability, you have nothing. So it doesn't measure reliability. Then we have to understand test and result. Males and females. You also have to do tests amongst leadership staff. The mean, they're significant. You can talk about it. Then you do the correlation. Then from the correlation, go to multiple. So when all of this done, we need then you have to do factor analysis, structure, and path analysis. You have to do 300 results from 150 not come up. The data is not.
this 300.
300. When I had 157, not get any result. When we so path analysis, the model selection, and the data minimum of 3. Getting also data clean. Sure, so whether a paper published or not, it's on path model. That's the most important. The path model, you can don't get a path model. It has to be done in process. Most important is reliability. Second is bell curve. Different women can also know about level, year 1, 2. That's that later on. So I will send you a table that we have found in Korea that give you an example of how to analyze and create tables.
Pak Ajis sama Pak Lubab, coba dianukan biar saya tulis tahapannya tadi. Cara bahasa SPSS-nya seperti apa? In the data, recruit, reliabilitas. Oke. Ya. Apa korba? Male female. Oh. Tadi yang ditampilkan tadi ngeceknya tadi apa? Item signifikan. Yang tadi akhirnya PO6 yang kita hilangkan itu dari apa? Item item corrected. Item correctednya berapa skornya? 0,3. Terus Pak? Setelah koalisi tadi, coalition compute, ya, setelah dibedakan laki perempuan, kemudian korelasi betul, korelasikan variat ke ANOVA. Oke, lanjut. Setelah itu Pak Lubab, baru kalau sudah 300 responden, kita bisa melakukan pet analysis. Nah, what next?
Well, I have to have the course decide the next step. Korea, I would tell my graduate students,
Finish to that Pak ya? And we used it for tomorrow morning. Okay.
So you must be Korean. Indonesian said, no, impossible. Because I have to look at the data to see the pattern. So at least positivity was disappointing. One item did. And I hope for the others. So for Korean data, when I see correlation, I can understand how the data. So it's like listening to several musicians play by themselves. Then I can put it all together, then be a conductor. So this test X and Y. It looks at the correlation is dependent on correlation, which is all factor analysis and path analysis. The correlations will tell me whether things probably you won't be able to do. You have to say goodbye to your wife, goodbye to lock yourself in and work until 12. Correlation you have to do efficacy, value, demographic.
Mungkin kan nggak Pak? Can prepare for until.
Yes, until the course. You can do it. You have to give them. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But don't get mad at me. But if you make one mistake, everything all over again. That's statistics, not me.
It's not me.
And my students, I find out the probably there's data cleaning is a problem. There's a recording is a problem. If you make one mistake out of thousands, I will find out. So don't get mad at me. Start from the beginning and everything all over again. Why? Because the data has to kind of synchronize. Lack of synchrony, then there is a mistake. So, so this is a kind of a practice run. You have a table all set, and when you have 300 analysis, and just change the path analysis. Probably I have to my student. I will tell her what to do and observe.
Okay.
Because path analysis is almost like screen stuff. Get the best from. You have to kind of get the variable, find out. So I don't know the student by end, their mentality. The 300 students, and you kind of figure it out. So it'll be kind of interesting. So what it tells me with POS, also do the leadership.
Aplikasi
Yeah, that's right.
sudah diginikan
All together. Can you do all together? Just scroll down to look. Adam to recording. Scroll down. Okay, so leadership efficacy will work out. Looking at that. So so go home or go to your office, lock your door, and give him a lot of food. And a little bit.
all he need just a couple of coffee and smoke.
Oh,
Yes.
smoking is effective too.
Yeah.
So if you can have it tomorrow morning, look at it, then think. I will ask further now. But as you notice, the analysis by IBM is very quick, so it doesn't take much time. But looking at the data and deciding what. So I think we can't go to the next step because we have to look at the data. So have you looked at the data for all three studies? Or
Yes.
you have to do. So are you the only one analyzing the?
No. Pak Lubab have many friends, army, behind him.
So you have to divide up the analysis. For students, this is a wonderful time to learn about numbers. You have to combine numbers. Imagine if you and I harmonize it. Not easy. So you have to numbers. That's the thing. Every student felt as something. Finding three. So once you then once you have to love numbers. That was it.
Numbers. In numbers.
When I was in university, I said IBM.
IBM.
Because I started a nice with my IBM. Now it's LG. So you have to kind of numbers, fill in numbers, talk in. Once you they give once they talk about in finance, as though it's something takes a lot of time. So I would recommend I hope that.
Okay, today we'll Pak Lubab will finish this computing numbers and hope to ready to continue steps.
So the most important reliability. Reliability, at least, then the means, and then correlation. So reliability is finished. Then reliability is not good. We have to hit some item, decrease problem. Like you have 6 children, you have to throw one of them out. Heartbreaking, but you have to do it. I hope that we can. So have 3 working simultaneously. So from 6, 40 or 50, and from 40 to 50 tables, like 5 or 6. Then you see this study, recently been published some work value and leadership style based on positive validation. So there are many possibilities of the, but everything depends on reliability. So now it's up to the stat team to kind of deliver results. Then once we have tables, then I will send you articles. You write into the result, you have and you have an article.
An article.
You have someone here help you edit English.
Oh, we have.
Okay, so you have someone who can help you. That is the point. And once I look at the data, so I can so what you call a friendly journal. So, but that will be the.
Okay, anything else?
One reason of the set.
Mengambil dari satu
Example, write an article. What? Write an article. Or you can write an article of leadership. Or you can write an article of the importance of on
instrumen, yes.
variables.
Variables.
Depending on the result. A good result. What are the work values? So what are the leadership? What is it? And online research probably another value. Then there's no there's hacker. So the scale on trust. What predicts trust in? So are kind of outcome variables that you want to predict. They are articles, but not all your children, not all of them will go to what we mean by data. Data has to come out. That's why data will be a lot of noise. The results are said, I don't believe. So I would say I always say, do you want to now? But if it becomes difficult, all the
Pak Ucol, Pak Mahpur, Pak Lubab, Bu was they were involving in indigenous workshop in PM at 2010
okay.
when open quiz.
Yes.
And then we are collecting, cutting, and categorizing.
Yes.
They are involved.
Okay, did you publish?
No. That is the
Well, because it's too difficult to publish.
Why this is so different with
The reason is,
workshop?
when I came, I had no idea what thinking, feeling, and being. So first you do all of get the big. So what is the core value based on that open caring and sharing? Why do you trust your parents? Caring and sharing. Why do you work hard? Because my parents caring and sharing. Why are you happy? For a reason. Everybody talks about caring and sharing. Korea, hard work, self-regulate. And this hard work.
Kita bukan pekerja keras, tapi kita itu suka caring, alias ngurusi wong liya.
So back then, you want to understand all variable, what to look for. And so I drove the driver, Jakarta to Jakarta to Surabaya, Bali, I drove and then look at the difference. I do, that's what I did. Qualitative understanding of phenomena. That is important. Americans will, because they don't know. They don't know what other. So 12 years ago, did that mainly for me and for the students because Indonesians don't understand their own culture. Why do you trust parents? What are the factors that influence achievement, happiness? And so translate, they have to teach me what it is. And so a lot of UGM lecture. And so have some better understanding. Qualitative analysis, but it's very difficult to publish. You have 200 pages. And so, and based on this information, trust, happiness, what are the key? Happiness, thing, tested, quality, 1,000 days. What are the factors? Find out. One person, an item, spiritual. So what are the key factors that are important? So based that relevant, because if I ask you to build skills, you say, I do. What would you? My training wall fell down. Region is in a better. Region. Now I feel more confident because now patient have to much then difference. You have to I call it run numbers.
Run numbers.
So the most important then translate action, comments, translation. Like very so when we do reliability and positive, negatively item may have the same problem in you have to see. So is called numbers will reliable. So numbers don't actually reliable and the core variable what makes and what the some of it can have a positive so liability high. That was maybe the reason. I don't know. So in terms of subjective well-being, I've already let me look at subjective well-being. Can we look at subjective well-being right now? Comeback alpha is 9.5. Pretty good. Almost perfect.
Almost perfect.
Yes. And can you scroll down to item total?
Korelasi Pak, korelasi, item korelasi. Ya, korelasi. Jangan ada yang 0,3.
Yes. So item total correlation higher than but 7 guided by effective. Have you done anything else while you were testing?
Pak, yang lain ada Pak?
So subjective well-being, total.
Total Pak, total.
Look very
Bawah yang
leadership efficacy, there are too many items down.
ya Pak.
Trust,
SS, SS atau social support. Nah, di sini
Effective well-being.
tadi.
Down.
Oh, kaget.
Just effective well-being. That's an American style around the world. What is it related to? About number. It's a good skill. Skill. Actually, much higher than Korea. A better well-being appears to be very. All the social items.
Aku sih
You'll get good. You have to thank the doctor questionnaire.
Nah, that's the student. They are the enumerators. The enumerators.
It was very long, right?
But we banyak orang lagi yang dikorbankan. Aja diambil.
Have 2 or 3 different larger like it doesn't
Sudah semua.
walk. But it's a small bowl.
Kita semua
So
sudah.
it's a large ship and
This one, SS. Support.
online.
Support.
Okay. Online looks very good too. Hard to believe.
Hard to believe.
When the results are too good, I become very suspicious.
Malah curiga.
Yes, it may be, but it may be you have good results. This is much better than Korea. I'm not sure I accept.
No, if this social online social very
Much more reliable. So I wasn't sure if online, yeah, because it's about getting jobs, getting and whether they can get emotional support online, it's virtually identical to real friends. So Indonesia, that means younger generation, very different. Look the same, behave the same, but their mind connected. And so probably you can publish an article comparing real friends and its impact on happiness. And so people will talk that no one has done this yet.
satu artikel.
But
Yang mau Scopus.
some Americans said, I don't believe you. The results are too good. Probably they'll say the things.
Ada. Apa ya? Sama Juli dan Maret. Terus kan Pak Yahya.
Yes, I think we have to see the result and we can look at tomorrow. Then either I'll be very happy, very sad, or depressed. But at least,
It depends on Pak Lubang.
yes, from now on.
Jadi apakah kalau happy atau sedih? Saya enggak nanti malam.
Analisis itu.
Or if you make any mistake, you'll be very sad and depressed. You have to do it all over again.
Try, Mister, try, Mister.
Risau.
Oke,